My name's Anthony Krepel, Krepel. I'm the owner and operator of Mary Jane's Wellness Center in Loveland. It's at 4229 West Eisenhower. We opened the store, like my mother said, in that location because of where it was. I got my license in July. I was going to open in Fort Collins first, but for Fort Collins there's too many schools, the college being there and everything. I went to each of my residents that own the businesses around me. None of them care that I'm there. They all want me to succeed. We service everybody that you can think of. I have actually a few gentlemen that are in the armed services now that are getting ready to be deployed to Iraq that are my patients. If you guys make me shut my store, they don't want to go anywhere else because I give them such a deal and they want to be discreet. They don't want Joe knowing, hey, the soldier's over here taking his medication, but he's fighting the war for you. So if you guys shut my store down, I have nowhere to go. When I open my store, I look through your guys' zoning ordinance, and it specifically states the sale of drugs. Not prescription drugs, not FDA-approved drugs, over-the-counter drugs, flat out says drugs. And so we went to that specific zoning location. And then the county attorneys here sent me a letter saying I had to cease and desist on the 13th, which I have not, and I will not until I get a court order. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krepel. Next.
My name is Tony Katzmakis, Katsamakis. I sent you a letter, or y'all should have one. Well, if I could have had that zoning map, it'd really help a lot. Situation is we have set up, I guess I'm in that PD system right there, that little yellow dot. And I am totally surrounded by commercial and industrial areas. Mulberry being right there is huge. And one of the problems is where you have listed on there as it can't be 500 feet to a resident. Well, having one person living in any of those commercial or industrial areas does not make it a residential neighborhood. And so what we, in a letter here, what we said is you need to amend it that the C commercial, I industrial, PD plan development, and FA farm agricultural zoning districts allow medical marijuana dispensary and medical marijuana operations by special review. And item 5F1 and 5G1 delete residents from both paragraphs. That is way too vague and puts people that own commercial property in danger of not being able to do what they should be able to do on their commercial property because someone may live in an industrial or commercial zone and then they call that as residence. That kind of affects me there because I guess to the south, or actually to the west of me, there's still one or two people that still reside there, but that does not make it a residential neighborhood. And also on the fact of not being able to be open on Sunday, why are we doing the blue law on something that shouldn't have a blue law to restrict from not being able to do business on Sunday? They've eliminated that for alcohol and most everything else. It's an old outdated law that should not apply to this either. So that's what I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hold on. If you'd hold on just a second, there's a question.
You're that little yellow sliver
that
little sea of blue?
Right there.
What is the zoning around you right there, that blue zone?
That's an old antiquated zoning called tourist.
Okay.
Back in the old days, they had that for people that were going into the Rocky Mountains and everything and had a special designation there where it was you could do basically everything and still live there.
Okay.
So that it was allowed to have multi-uses on it. And so we changed that to a PD, public development, before all this stuff was presented. And so we would like to convert our property to have a legal dispensary and grow operation there. We've gone through all the legal and everything else. And when we saw this and it was put in there that you had to be at least 500 feet from a residence. It just didn't make any sense to us, because if you're living on a farm, does that exclude the farm too, because there's a residence there? It's way too vague, and it just paints everything with a wide brush instead of being a little more specific about if you're in a commercial and industrial area, you can't also call that a residential area.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.